All right, just getting this back in here so that we can see it. So we just talked about your horizontal and your vertical, your H moving you side to side, and your K moving you up and down. Now we're going to focus on what A does. A can do two things. It can dilate or it can reflect. Or it can do both, depending on what A is. So A will reflect if A is negative. So when I have y equals negative x plus 5, this plus 5 tells you where to put your first dot. Plus 5 tells you to move left 5. It's on the inside and it's positive. That's where you're going to put your first dot. Then this negative tells you which direction your graph should go. Because it's negative, it should reflect, it should make your graph open upside down. So if I come back in here and I type negative absolute value of x plus 5, my first dot should move left 5, and then my graph should just open down instead of up. If I get rid of the negative sign, it makes my graph open up again. So the negative just changes the direction of your graph. Okay? That's the one that I want you to care more about. If there's a negative in the front, you have a reflection. So if we look at y equals negative absolute value of x minus 2 plus 1. Minus 2 on the inside should move you right 2. Plus 1 on the outside moves you up 1. That tells you where to put your first dot. So you go right 2 and up 1, put a dot. Then after all of that, the negative sign just tells you that your graph should be upside down. It should be flipped. It should be reflected. Okay, so your graph will be up and upside down V. Now let's talk about what A can do if A is a number. If I have something like y equals 2 absolute value of x, or y equals 1 over 3 absolute value of x plus 5. Okay, this 2 or this 1/3 are your dilations, which you can kind of think of as your slope. If I come back into Desmos and I get rid of this one for the time being, and you look at your parent function, your number in front of the absolute value, remember your imaginary number is like 1. It means your slope here is like going up 1 and over 1 each time. Even when I had that negative absolute value of x plus 5, the plus 5 just moves you to the left, and then that negative makes you flip upside down. But your number is still 1, it's just a negative 1, so that's why it's down 1 over 1. Okay, so if I change this number, let's get rid of this for the time being, and I change this to be a 2, that's like your slope. So now that green graph didn't move at all, but is dilated so that your slope is now up 2 and over 1. Up 2 and over 1, up 2 and over 1. If I were to make it negative, well, the negative tells me it should open down, and your slope is 2. So down 2 over 1, down 2 over 1, down 2 over 1. If I make that 1/3, and then I think I had x plus 5. Well, so the plus 5 moves your graph left 5, and then your slope is 1/3, so up 1 and over 3. Up 1 and over 3. Up 1 and over 3. Okay? You got 1/3. That A value is just your slope. Now, that is not as important. There's a couple of questions in your IXL that you'll do that has your dilations, but I want you to focus on the reflections of the negative, the moving left and right, and the moving up and down.